And let's talk about, my personal beefs that I be having. I know we've been on here for a while. So let's close out with some silly petty beef that I be talking about. I'm going to share my screen real quick and show you guys some of the arguments I be having on my favorite podcast, According to Hip Hop. Let's see. Share my screen here. And I always am arguing on this podcast. Okay, I am very vocal about my opinions here, and this was what they posted here. Everyone can see this. Who's the most lyrically skilled MC in this picture? And you know me, I've been talking about the definition of lyricism, and harping about how we got to make a clear definition. Stop, just whatever, right? So real quick, I want to know your guys' opinions. Ghostface, Doom, Jadakiss, Mos Def. Who's the most lyrical?
Ghost.
Really? I didn't even think you were gonna say that.
It's easy.
Okay, so I'm disagreeing with you then, because that's what I was arguing about. That's what I had this argument about. That's exactly what argument's about. All right?
Because lyricism is hard. Oh man. I think it depends on what part of the lyricism that you like it the most. That's hard. Yeah, that's
look right here. Crazy. Look right here. My answer. For all the people saying Ghostface, storytelling is not lyricism. The answer is Doom. The answer is Doom, B.
The answer is not Doom, man.
It's clearly Doom.
It's not Doom. It's Ghost and Jada and Doom.
No, you think? Whoa, you got Doom messed up.
Doom at the bottom of the fold.
No,
I was gonna say Jada, but I love his flow, and Jada's cold to me. I like him, but that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Jada is great punchline rapper. Ghostface is
are metaphors. That's lyricism.
Yes, punchlines are lyricism. I want to make it clear. Punchline is lyricism. Ghostface has all of that, but not he's not as great of a punchline rapper as Jadakiss. What he's best at is storytelling and saying stuff that no one understands what you're saying. Right? He'd be saying lines that just be nonsense. No, they be using slang as nonsense. Are you talking about drugs? I don't know what this is saying. Be trying to go and rap genius, and then the other people be like, we don't understand what this means either.
He only did like 2 or 3 songs. That's not all the time.
No, not all the time. Most of the time, it's stories. That's what he's great at, stories.
Nah, he got all types of stuff.
Can storytellers be great lyricists?
Ghostface got everything. Of course, storytellers can be great lyricists. Depends on how you tell them the story.
Right, but I don't think storytelling is lyricism. I think they're two different things. I think
I'm with you on that one, bro.
That's fine. I don't disagree with that, but I still think Ghostface got better everything than Doom.
I think Doom got better concepts. You got the food album is come on, it's better concept.
Ghostface got the forest.
Don't matter. The Doom is still better.
Ghostface got the sun.
Okay, I still
Ghostface
haven't heard
concepts on concepts.
It's still not better than the Food album. Okay, it's a whole concept album that's amazing. One of the best concept albums. Okay, every track is about food.
I'm sorry, I forgot that Ghostface made Only Built for Cuban Links.
Ghostface, there we go. This is the thing that people be doing this with Ghostface and the Wu-Tang Clan and stuff. Is that his album or is it not? Because then you can't give it to Raekwon if that's his album. People be
both their
albums. Isn't he on
both their albums? So then they're a duo. It's not a solo album. Then Raekwon has no solo classics. Okay, because I love Ghostface.
With another man on the cover and it says featuring Ghostface Killer.
You're right. So then all the people who say Raekwon is top 25 rapper and has classic albums are liars. He's not. But he got no classic albums.
That's He's in too many other albums, man.
He's in.
Raekwon's on too much stuff.
He's on classic Ghostface records. He's on the Bill for Cuban Links, and he's on Into the Wu-Tang. Right, so he's got. If you want to say as a group artist, he's definitely. So yeah, I mean, if you count Andre 3000 as a
gajillion things.
Yeah,
and he's on a gajillion other guest spots.
He's on a gajillion
songs of all time.
He's on a gajillion things. All right, so then cool. That's good that we disagree because then we get to talk about the argument I was having with this guy, Son of Man, right? He told me that storytelling is lyricism, and I disagree, right? So I said, I mean, I suppose you have a Will Smith as a top lyricist then too. It's seriously silly to say that storytelling is lyricism. I don't think they're the same. Storytelling is a narrative that you paint, right? And lyricism, like you said, has metaphors or punchlines or whatever. I think I want to make a clear definition for lyricism for everyone. So I'm clear. I think lyricism is metaphors, punchlines, entendre, those type of things, right? So you can say literary devices there or whatever. I think it's rhyme schemes. So when you make every word rhyme in a line or things like that, that's lyricism. And I think what else? What else? I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
There's probably something else I'm forgetting, but that's what comes to my mind immediately when I think of lyricism. Oh, what he says before that. He says he listed a bunch of different people's verses. Yeah. So he says lyrics expressing a writer's emotion using briefly and in stanzas or recognized forms. Lyricism equals the ability to create lyrics. And then he says wordplay is the use of literary devices or tools. So he's separating the creation of lyrics, right? So just writing in general makes you a lyricist. And I hate that because everyone like Sesame Street writers are lyricists then. They write songs. Like if you write lyrics, you're a lyricist. That's not what it's saying. That's not what they're saying. Right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like with that. I feel like people take words out of context. Like, words have meanings. And so I said, you really think that's what artists mean when they call themselves lyricists? That they have the ability to create lyrics? I said Sesame Street writers then have the ability to create lyrics. Or you think rappers are saying that they're best expressing emotions? I said, LOL, imagine grown men bragging about how good they are at expressing their emotions. I said you can have that definition if you want it, right? He said what you're talking about was introduced later in hip hop with artists like Rakim, Kool G Rap, Master Ace, etc. Okay, what does that mean? It was introduced later in hip hop. That's it. I'm not going to go through every but what does that mean when we say it was introduced later in hip hop? Okay, people became better lyricists later in hip hop.
That's what they mean. That's what they say. First, the lyrics was "I rock the party the best," like that type of stuff, and then it got to a better level where people was talking about they're doing it in more clever ways, and it was about who can do it in the most clever manner. So those things are I mean, yeah, I would say it was created by Rakim, or he took it to another level.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
So
but all of these people are after that time, so I don't understand why is that his argument.
That's my point.
Well, look, man. I mean, people have favorites in music, and they're gonna stay with those people, even if they don't, match certain stuff. Like people don't like Doom like that. Like a lot of people be hating on Doom, and I don't really get it. I like Doom a lot. I love Doom, but I mean, out of those four, I'm just trying to think, man. Like, I'm trying to think of like the best Doom verses, and I'm thinking of all these other verses from Yasin, Jada, and Ghostface that are better than me.
I
could be missing some Doom verses. I could be missing some.
Yeah. So I could listen. This is how I feel about Doom. I got to be in the mood to listen to Doom. It's a different vibe than he doesn't give me the same vibe as Jada or any of those guys, right? So Doom is not traditional in any sense of the word. I mean, he's in a category of his own. That's kind of the thing that makes him great. And what he does, but that's also what he does with words and stuff is very unique. That's my point. So I think he's very clever with it. He rhymes words that other rappers just wouldn't think to rhyme together. He says things in weird ways that other people just wouldn't think to say it. Now we can argue about whether that's better or worse. Clearly you think it's worse, but I think it's because of its uniqueness, it makes it the best. I
mean, we split in hairs. I think Ghostface does all those things. I mean, I think Ghostface says stuff in weird ways, uses funny metaphors, has a bunch of different weird punchlines, and weird, unorthodox flows. So I don't. I think that's all about the same.
It's interesting because these were the two that were named most. Like most people, you were saying Ghostface. I think most people say Ghostface, and then there were a few people saying Doom. But the other names, I don't think got brought up a ton. You know,
that's not fair. Jadakiss got the best metaphors and punchline.
Yeah, I think what hurts him is that he doesn't have the discography as Ghostface.
Well, that thing said best lyricist. It didn't say who made the best music.
Exactly. And that was part of the things that I was arguing about, because I don't think saying your favorite artist means the best lyricist. So, but that's my issue. People always want the people they like the most to be the best lyricist instead of looking at it objectively. Of that list, I would say, I mean, if I had to pick a catalog, Doom's or Ghostface, I'd probably pick Ghostface. Right? Doom's not my favorite artist, but I'm just looking at it like, you know, when I think of, like I said, when I think of how unique Doom is, I'm thinking, man, he's a lyricist, a one of a kind lyricist. Like, there's not another Doom.
No.
You know?
I agree. There's not. Doom is his own.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, you made me pick. That's hard to pick. I mean, I like all the guys. Yasin has some of the most incredible verses. I mean, with all the aspects that we looking for. So I don't. Yeah. I don't know how you have to. If you had to pick one, I don't know how you.
See, that's the thing. I would put Jada as the worst because I'd put Yasin over. Well, man, maybe I put Ghostface. I can't. It's hard. I might put Ghostface the lowest.
I think Jada's the worst for sure.
I might put Ghostface,
Jada be the
then
worst,
Jada,
man.
and then Yasin, then Doom. I might do it that way. Yeah.
No, indeed, man. Y'all wrong, but I mean, again, what are we talking about? Because when you're trying to break it down and trying to give it some kind of numbers and things like that, that makes it. I don't even know how you quantify that stuff. Because whatever it's a bar to me might not be a bar to you. Might go over somebody else's head. Might not hit at all for somebody. Like Jada with the punchlines. People love most of his punchlines. And it hits. That's one of his best things. But maybe you don't like the stuff leading up to the punchline. I don't know.
No, but I think, that's the thing. I think punchlines, as for rap, I mean, I think they have that name for a reason. They're the most, the easiest thing to see, hear, like it just hits you. It hits you.
Yeah, like knockouts for a box.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, man, so Jada could drop a verse and he'll kill a song and have the best verse, and you just know, like, man, because you heard every one of those punchlines. You'll have 8 of them in the song, and you just be like, man, those are all great punchlines.
Yep.
And Doom is not that. Doom, it'll be like weird flow with a weird beat with this word said in a very weird way, and you got to stop and think about it for a second, or maybe listen to it a few times and be like, oh, what is he saying?
Yeah, or you catch it way later too. There's stuff you would catch, you'd be like, oh, I listened to the song. How many times I just caught that shit? Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. And that's what I feel like I think that's more, maybe not better, but I think that's
just... I think you saw me on Doom. You did
but I think some of the stuff that I love about Doom is he references stuff that other people don't reference.
Yeah.
So with Doom, but I mean, that's the thing, but Ghostface always did that to me too. I mean, he was the only one out here talking about how he was Iron Man and all this type of crap.
That's true.
Way back. You know what I'm saying? So I always got all his comic book references, even when I was a kid.
Right.
And nobody else was really doing it like that either.
And this is the thing that it weirds me out, because Ghostface, I mean, a lot of his rhymes are like about nerdy stuff, like you said, but Doom will get the nerdy rapper rep. Ghostface gets the gangster rapper rep.
People misuse the term. People misuse the term nerd, man. They think that nerd means you're smarter than them.
Yeah.
A lot of people use that as the term, like, oh, that's nerdy rap. Why? Because you didn't catch the punchline right away?
Yeah.
Or that little part went over your head because you didn't get the reference? That's, you know what I'm saying? That's not the same thing for, like, Ghostface, because he's rapping about certain stuff. The subject matter is different. People take that as, not nerdy. You know, they might not get the bar either.
Right.
But they'd be like, oh, it must be something about them bricks. Or, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he's talking about girls. You know, like, but it's just, that's kind of how it is, man. It's for everything, man. Think about it. You talk to people and they'll say, books is for nerds. But you can be reading a book about sex.
Getting women, yeah.
Like, it's not.
It could be
reading a romance
getting
novel.
money. It could be.
It's a romance. It could be about gangs. It could be about the streets.
Yeah.
But it's a book, so you're a nerd now.
Yeah.
It doesn't make no sense, man. It's not really. You know how that goes.
Yeah, no, you're right. I just thought, I'm surprised that you so clearly think it's Ghostface. I
love Ghostface, man. You know I'm biased.
I know you love Ghostface. I know you love Ghostface.
I'm biased. I can't be unbiased. I never try to be unbiased. I love Ghostface. I'm not here to lie to the people.
I'm not here to hate on Ghostface. Ghostface is great.
No, I'm not hating on Doom.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I just think Doom, like I said, Doom doesn't get. I mean, he's love. I mean, of the underground rappers, he's like the king of underground rappers. I would say. But you know, I just wish that
the Fly God is the king of underground rappers.
No,
get it right.
Number one, Griselda's not underground. First of all, let's make it clear. Griselda's not underground.
How are they not underground?
They're not underground. Everybody talks about them. They're not underground.
Maybe not anymore. But when I was talking about Griselda in like 2016, people was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Okay,
so you got on early. That don't mean they underground. You got on early.
But their style is the Rock Marcy style. It's the rapping over stuff that y'all say has no drums.
Okay, no, but Rock Marcy's underground. Griselda's not. I mean, sorry.
Well, I don't understand what the difference is.
I mean,
your ambitions. I think. I don't know.
I think just the amount of people that know your name.
I mean,
the amount of people that know your name. They
work with the same people.
Yeah.
They got the same type of music most of the time. They work together.
I just feel like, okay, this is one of the things. I feel like rap media, mainstream media talks about Griselda all the time. They talk about Rock Marcy though. Okay, then he's not underground either. Then, but then who's underground? Underground? Doom was underground, and
Doom was getting talked about all the time.
No, he was not.
I mean, rest in peace to Doom, of course. Right, he has his own SB Dunk.
Yeah.
How is he not known if he got his own shoe?
Because underground shoe though. That's a low key shoe.
How you have an underground Nike shoe?
Okay, if you walk into a room,
didn't get no shoe.
I know Lupe was talking about that. Yeah, Lupe's underground now though. Lupe's underground now. He's not originally, but he's underground now. Okay,
he's underground now.
First song was a hit on every single TV station.
Okay, but now he's underground.
You can't, but you're not. That's not how it works. If you start off signed to a major label, getting big time major label push, you can't say later on you underground. You can say you blackballed or something.
Yes.
You can say people don't care about you no more.
Yeah.
But you're not underground. They know who you are.
You're right.
Everybody heard of you. You sold platinum records.
You're right. So Lupe's not underground, but Doom. You go in a room and you say, "Hey, you listen to Doom." A lot of people won't know what you're talking about. Most people won't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna say the same thing about Rock Marcy or Griselda.
But if you're in a hip hop,
no, not Griselda. They know Griselda now.
Ransom is underground. But I'm talking about if you go even to a hip hop block, like even in this group, you know, even when they were rating Doom, you know, like even one of the hosts was like, you know what, I'm not that familiar with Doom stuff, and he had to go listen to Doom stuff. You know, that's not going to happen.
Who are you talking about? Because you're talking about according to hip hop, because they're not that familiar with Lupe either. I'm
not here to start beef with them, all right?
You're trying to have beef. You know, but I love that podcast. So
the podcast is the best.
Come on, man.
But my point is, I just think Doom. I definitely think. So, what's the definition? What was your definition of underground?
Well, I don't think underground exists anymore. I think underground was a thing in the past when you had a lot of people coming out selling platinum albums.
Right.
Tons of in the late 90s, mid 90s, up to a certain time period. I don't know when it stopped, but basically in the internet era, anybody could get on SoundCloud or something. So you have people that's no names, like Ice Spice. She popped off, had one song. Now she's a big
TikTok famous. So,
but that's what I'm saying. So, what is underground? Like that used to be, you had to bubble up, and it was just very different.
So I like that. So it doesn't exist anymore.
They said they was underground. You know what I'm saying?
They are. I mean, the raucous movement, I guess, is kind of the underground movement. That was the underground movement of that time. When Doom came out in the blog era, the blog stuff was the underground. That is the underground.
You mean after he came out?
Yes, when he came out.
Because he was on old school.
I'm talking about as Doom, not as Zev Love. I'm talking about as Doom.
Okay. All right. Making sure there's a difference. There's a big difference there. All right. Because he was on Not Pop Goes the Weasel, the Gas Face.
Yeah.
Gas Face was the joint.
So, but yeah. All right. So that's good. That's a good conversation. All right. Then we didn't really come to a definition of lyrics. I mean, we agree on the definition. We just don't agree on whether, Ghostface is the, most or not. But I think, that's a good conversation. Bryce, what you think?
Dang.
Good, man. Good conversation. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Any closing thoughts, you guys?
I got some bonus hate. I saw a dog in church, bro. I can't believe it, man. Y'all dog people got to stop, man.
Not in church. Dogs eat Jesus too, man.
Bro, Jesus should be your support animal.
Oh, you know what? All dogs already go to heaven. All dogs go to heaven. We don't need to go to church. That's stupid. It's redundant.
All right, I got bonus hate too since we've thrown out our bonus hate. People, if your kids are bad, leave them at home. Do not put them on somebody else. I do not want to coach your bad kids. Leave them at home. Come on.
Don't bro, that's what sports are for. Sports are for building discipline in the children.
Character. Yeah, that's not true, man. That's the whole reason they brought them.
Sit up there recording your kid be bad. I don't want to see it.
Man, and people need a break, man. That's why they brought them to you.
Dang.
When their parents want to fight you, I'm not going to be there. If the ref want to kick your kid out the game, please help me. Take him away. I don't want to deal with this kid.
We got to have a whole episode on you coaching. Yeah. We got to have a whole episode of just your coaching. All right. So, all right, guys. Great podcast. We see y'all next time.
Peace.